evening and welcome to another episode of the Shotcallers podcast. Rich is here. We got the energy. I got Robin here. I got Kyle with me. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing this evening?
We doing good, doing all right.
Chilling, bro.
Good,
Chilling.
good. Glad to hear it. We had two exciting, in some people's eyes, games. Maybe underwhelming in another sense, but we'll get to that in a minute. Thank you guys for tuning in to us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when our next episode comes up every Friday without stopping. What are some of the other ways that people that are more audio inclined, Robin, can listen to us?
Spotify podcast, Apple Music, Google,
Apple Podcast.
everything. Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
Every podcast where you can find a podcast, we are there.
But when we drop a mixtape, it will be on Apple Music, is what you're saying.
Or SoundCloud.
All right. Kyle, I understand that we are taking questions for a mailbag episode. Where can people send in those mailbag questions?
You can send us questions on Twitter and Instagram at Shotcallers Show. That's at Shotcallers Show, and also on our email, which is also shotcallershow@gmail.com.
Perfect. Yeah, and if you guys go on our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, biggest ones, you can see us keep up with our pick'em contest where y'all will see that Kyle and Robin tied me up tonight with their picks in the two matchups that we had tonight. We're all 3-0 or 3-3 for the season thus far. You guys can vote along with us as you guys are hopefully watching these national games. And so to kick off the night, your boy Rich here had to work kind of late, slaving away at the grindstone. Also, a lot of
You hate
rain
to
here
see
in
it.
Texas. It took me a while to get home. There's some accidents for me to navigate, so I can't say I watched the game in its entirety like I normally can. Our first matchup was the Hawks hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. The Red Hot Hawks, 7-3 in their last 10. They got back Trae Young. But unfortunately for the Hawks, the Bucks got back Giannis Antetokounmpo back from some knee soreness, and they ended up, coasting to a win, 120 to 109. The Bucks did. What did you guys take away from this game? Is Thanasis is Giannis the better Antetokounmpo brother compared to Thanasis, who's playing on the Lakers in the later game? That's what I want to know. I didn't get to watch. So what was the outcome? Thanasis or Giannis? Which way are we leaning?
Judging by your face, Robin, I'll let you handle this.
Are you serious right now? Giannis, bro. Giannis had 15 points. I mean, and he made it look easy. He played 25 minutes, 5 assists, 5 boards, 3 steals. He did everything in 25 minutes. He didn't even need to play the whole game. So yeah, that was I'll let you.
Hey, it's just an easy
I,
one. Just an easy
That
one.
was a.
How did my
I,
man... Oh, what's up, Kyle?
I mean, I was gonna add to that. He didn't play that many minutes, but they also didn't close out the game with him. Not necessarily that they needed to, but the Hawks like had all their starters on the floor closing out the game. Attempting to close the gap.
Are you saying that the
Milwaukee.
Bucks are better without Giannis on the floor? Is
Is
that
that
what
what
you're
you're
Well,
saying?
saying?
well, I mean, I was just saying like his decision making, was kind of questionable at times. Like a couple times on fast break, he was just running into the wall, and there was like one time on a fast break, four people in front of him. He tried to go up with it, and when he should have like hit a corner guy, and he ended up having it swatted by Clint Capella. Uh, However, the next time he went down on a fast break, like Bobby Portis
Portis.
Jr. He was boxing out one guy, but he still faced like two or three other people in the paint on the fast break. But he got the layup to go, and he got an and one. So sometimes you're just Giannis, but
He's unstoppable. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you. So, for the first time in who knows how long, several years, the Hawks are above, or since the, you know, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Paul Millsap Hawks, the Hawks are above the top 10 or the top 30. They're out of the bottom 30% of the league or the bottom 10 teams of the league in defensive rating, which is good.
hmm
Nate McMillan's kind of
hmm
turned them around from their previous coaching by Lord Pierce. So you're saying they kind of had the wall in place and had some kind of scheme adapting
yeah,
to
yeah.
Giannis being in there. That's kind of what my research was showing. I was hoping
hmm
that the eye test would prove the same. What about my man Bogdan, son of Bogdan, otherwise known as Bogdan Bogdanovic? I want to before I let you go. I mentioned the picks earlier. You guys had the Bucks covering and winning over the Hawks.
hmm
They were favored by 6 points. They had to win by 6 points or more, and they ended up covering.
4.
Or 4 points, sorry. And and then so I thought, okay, Giannis questionable going into tonight's game. Trae Young, questionable going into tonight's game. And in my brain, this is what I was thinking. I was wrong, I'll admit it. But I said, all right, there's only about a few different outcomes here. If Giannis does not play, I think the Hawks are going to cover. Great. If Giannis doesn't play and Trae Young doesn't play, I think the Hawks are going to cover. Great. If Trae Young plays, I said, man, there's no way the Hawks are going to cover this. He's going to be coming out looking rusty. And I really thought this. And how did that play out? How did Trae Young do? Was I right?
I don't think he came out rusty. Coming into this game, I knew like Drew Holiday was gonna give Trae Young a hard time defensively. So uh, Trae Young didn't shoot the ball well, but what I have here is that like he's really optimized like his style of play. Like he's obviously a shorter guy, he's a skinnier guy, so he has to get more creative in how he gets his buckets. He can't be a Giannis and just, run into everybody and try and run everybody over. Uh, he draws a lot of fouls, and that's how he keeps himself in the game. His passing is really good. He's hitting, you know, whip passes across the court, hitting open teammates and getting assists like that, getting his teammates involved. So he's generating buckets that way. But one on one, Drew Holiday did a great job defensively on him. And when Drew Holiday wasn't on him, Trae Young was, often able to get into the lane and hit those floaters or, pull up on a guy and make him run into his back and stuff like that. But right now, or tonight, like just the floaters weren't falling. And also the Bucks big guys, they did a good job defensively of protecting the rim.
Kyle, are you being too nice? Robin, is Kyle being too nice? I'm reading the box score here. Trae Young, 3 for 17 from the floor, 17%. Over 3 from 3. Is Kyle being too nice?
Yes and no. Yes and no. So obviously you can see 3 for 17 and be like, oh, he had a bad game. That's trash, garbage. Send him to the bench. But he had kind of one of those little Chris Paul feeling games to where he was controlling the game for their offense. He was pushing the ball. I think he was like 0 for 6 or like 1 for 6, and he had like 5 assists, kind of like how
Mhm.
Luka was last night. So he was getting everybody involved, and he had a lot of passes to where they had a second pass or they missed the shot. So he was controlling the game, but then the second half, he started getting a couple more shots to go. I mean, he only got 2 more shots in the second half, but nine for 9 from the free throw line. But he missed a lot of floaters, so it wasn't like he was taking tough shots. He was missing point blank shots. The thing I would say he was rusty was the 6 turnovers. Like that's not gonna fly. If the ball's gonna be in your hands the whole time, and you have 6 turnovers, it's not gonna fly. But he has missed a lot of games, or he's missed like what, the last 3 games.
Yes, exactly.
So
You should know.
yeah, my fantasy team knows. But
The once per week, one time mention of Robin's fantasy team. We got that out of the way.
but yeah, so I mean, shooting wise, no, but he kept his team afloat, and I think at the end of the day, if you're the best player and team's still in the game, you can have the worst shooting performance in the world, but if you're keeping your team competitive on defense, you're moving the ball, everyone's rotating, whatever it is, that's all that they're gonna ask you for is to keep the game close.
Yeah, and for sure, that's a great point. The Hawks were keeping it close. It took a 21-8 run from the Bucks to kind of get it out of striking distance, keep it at like 19 points, 20 points, when the Hawks closed it towards like 11 at a couple times during the game. I wanted to spotlight. I was going into the game, watching the Hawks, doing a little research during the week, thinking like, or the Hawks and the Bucks, doing a little research, thinking, who do I hope I get to see tonight if I would have been able to watch the game? And while they deprived me of the opportunities to watch Rodion's Kuruks, once on the Nets, now on the Bucks, for those that didn't know, was on the Houston Rockets for a little while, didn't play, but who did play? Solomon Hill, who made his appearance in the
Yeah.
bubble last season, or made his reappearance in the bubble last season, looking like Teen Wolf. But I say that not to meme him. He's a positive when he's on the floor. 6 for 8 from 3, I believe.
Yeah,
Able to
he
stretch
was
the
hot.
floor and keep the ball moving, doing a little bit of a lot of different things. 5 rebounds. Just really getting the secondary passes, whipping around the perimeter. So that's a perimeter player, or that's a role player that I thought deserved a shout out. Um, are there any other secondary players besides the stars that maybe stood out to you guys that y'all wanted to shout out for for some fame or infamy on the negative side?
Go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead and let it out, Kyle.
I I mean, this guy isn't he's not a bench player, but I
But
guess
he
what
should be.
Rob I mean, the way Chris Middleton was playing, he
Ooh.
was 4 for 14, 28% from the field, so that's not good. That's not cutting it. He had 0 free throw attempts as well. Like the granted though, the Bucks had the player that had the most amount of free throws. You want to guess, Richard? It's one of your favorite players.
Oh,
I'm sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic.
is it? Oh, is it Jeff Teague?
Jeff Teague was 6. He had the most free
Oh
throws.
my God, I can't stand that dude.
Yeah,
He just got Coach Bud reunion. Like, oh,
yeah,
he's so bland. But he did pick it up near the end of his Celtics tenure, like a
yeah.
little bit. He stopped looking exclusively like he almost had a Rondo type game
hmm
during sometimes with the Timberwolves. When he was on the Timberwolves and then on the Celtics, like
hmm
he basically would have the ball and either try to score because he's not like Rondo in that sense he tries to score, or just give a last second pass at the end of the shot
hmm
clock to try to get his assist numbers up. Like it just didn't seem to be beneficial basketball. But you're
hmm
saying he's generating efficient looks, getting shots from the free throw line.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say Jeff Teague didn't look too bad tonight. From what you would wanna clown on him and stuff. But yeah, Chris Middleton, like he just needs to get more aggressive in the ISO situations sometimes. Like there was a couple moments where he hit like back-to-back threes, and the I think I can't remember. I think it was in the third quarter. He was hitting outlet passes, cherry picking, hitting Giannis and Drew Holiday full court. So that's good stuff. But he just needs to be like more aggressive. Like he has the ball handling skills. Like he can shoot. Like he can create off the dribble. He just needs to do it. He's way too like soft and I don't know.
Ooh,
Drew,
calling him
he
soft.
he's
That,
supposed to be the second guy. He's
that's
supposed to be
go,
the second guy,
that's going
but
on
he
the
has 10 points.
thumbnail when we start making thumbnails. Oh man.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of how I see it. Like he smoked a couple layups, like easy layups. Like it was funny. I think it was in the first or second quarter. He had an easy reverse, but he went up too fast because he was expecting the contact from behind from the big guy from Clint Capella, I think, and he just almost threw it over the rim, and he was like, you can hear him say, "Oh shit," uh, which is pretty funny. But uh, yeah, he just needs to. I From the way I see it, I just think he's a little too soft. He just needs to get more aggressive, and
Are you saying
he
you would
he.
have made those layups? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I probably would have done the same shit, but I'm not getting paid millions, so
That's true.
Got it. Anybody that stands up for you, Robin, from this one that you want to shout out?
Yes,
Okay.
Brooke Lopez.
Mm.
I mean, you look at him, you're like, oh, he sits by the
yeah.
3 point line, which he does. He hit three of them today, but three offensive rebounds against Capella, who's not, just a 6'10" center like PJ
Well,
Tucker or
well,
whoever.
one of the best centers one of the best
Yeah,
rebounding
one of the
centers
best
right now.
rebounding. Yeah, and I mean, there was I think an offensive rebound in the fourth quarter when the Hawks were making a really good run, and he got the offensive rebound, kind of clinched it. That was important for them. I don't really like the way he plays. I don't like the whole sit by the 3 point line, especially for like 7'2", whatever, however tall he is. But he was aggressive today. He made Capella work for his stuff. It always feels like he's open by the 3 point line. I don't know if he squirts his way there
Mm.
or what.
That's a tall squirt. That dude's taller than Tyler Hero.
Wait,
That's for
all right,
sure.
all
I just
right.
wanted to say that.
We got the
No,
Ripley
but I
squirt
liked it.
today.
I liked it. Yeah. It felt like he was bullying Capella at times, and Capella didn't want no part of it, which is weird because I thought Capella was like, he's been playing really good this year at least. But look, Rich is still laughing. But that's just my shout out. The way I saw him play, I was like, okay, he looks like an old school center tonight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Clint Capella, you mentioned him first. That guy's got multiple 20-plus rebound games this season. That guy gets lots of rebounds, lots of RBs,
Mm,
rebounds, RBs, roast
mhm.
beef.
Yeah,
Brooke
roast
Lopez,
beef.
though, that guy. I mean, people don't know this, especially if you tuned into the NBA in the last 6 years. Brooke Lopez, I believe, is the leading scorer all time for the Brooklyn Nets until Kevin Durant passes him in a couple years. That guy was a post-up machine. He went from
Yeah,
shooting,
I remember who was. Yeah.
I believe
The beast.
he shot maybe 8 3-pointers the season before he joined.
Milwaukee.
Or no, well, not Milwaukee. He started shooting 3 pointers on the Nets too. When they
hmm
had a coaching change. but he went from 8 3 pointers in a season to like 120. Like he
Mm.
super multiplied it like exponentially, which is insane. So he still got the post moves. We've seen it 2 seasons ago when the Bucks went a little bit deeper towards the finals. They kind of pulled him out to throw a wrench in the opposing team's game plan. He started posting people up, going into his bag of tricks that he still has. Like I don't know if he has any kids, but he's got dad moves. Like your dad is bigger than you. He posts you up and just kind of scoops the ball in using his length and his height. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
forget those
yeah.
things. It's like riding a bike.
Mm.
Kyle, when you go around your nieces and nephews, Rob, when you go around younger kids in your family and they want to hoop, you're like, hey, you can't stop me. You maybe have never
Yeah.
practiced a hook shot in your life, but you're bigger than them, and you're gonna just lay it up. Brooke Lopez still has that, so that's for
Mm.
sure. Thanks for shouting Brooke Lopez, one of the
I,
funnest guys.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, the good thing that you brought him up, Robin, because he did have a really good game. Uh, I feel like now that I think about it, in hindsight, it's probably a good matchup, at least for Milwaukee on offense, to have a stretch five like Brook Lopez out there against Capella, either having to draw him out of the paint or obviously Capella's instinct is to stay in the paint and protect the rim and stuff, leaving Brook Lopez or another shooter open on the perimeter. So Milwaukee definitely took advantage of that matchup.
And it gives Giannis room to operate. It's
Yeah,
not too congested in the paint, which is
yeah.
another thing. It's
Mm.
just he's so tall. Just go in there and dunk on people, you know? Like it's so easy. But yeah, I get
But that's literally what Giannis does. Go in there and dunk on
Yeah,
people. It's so
yeah.
easy.
that. Yeah, when Giannis on the game though, feels like they stopped scoring.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and
I,
that. Oh, go
I
ahead, Kyle.
I mean, I was gonna say I thought Drew Holiday kept a good or did a good job of keeping them afloat and keeping the scoring going even when Giannis went off the floor. You said Giannis only had 15 points, so I'm like, you know, when you hear Giannis, MVP Giannis and stuff, uh, you think he's scoring like 20, 23, 25, stuff like that. So 15 points is a pretty modest game, I think in my opinion. Uh, uh, but like I said, Clint Capella's instinct was to stay in the paint, and I think the game plan was to stay in the paint against Giannis. But like I said, they took advantage of the matchup by hitting Brook Lopez a lot.
Yeah, and it's good to hear Drew Holiday. Keeping the offense going. That's exactly what they signed him for. 3 year extension, 20 plus million per year. So that's definitely what the Bucks are banking on. They've got their big
Mm.
three stars. They got Giannis. They got Drew Holiday, the new addition. They got bench player Chris Middleton, who maybe can break out and become something one day in Kyle's eyes. Kyle, I wonder if I need to look at the on-off stats in terms of when Chris Middleton plays on national games because the Bucks come up
Mm.
on our screens a lot on these Thursday
Yeah.
night games versus nights he's playing not on the national stage. Maybe he's just shy in front of you. Like maybe it's just when it happens when you're watching. Like come on, man. What if he's cold in all the other games?
I wish, I wish I had that kind of influence on players.
So we'll have to if any of our listeners can run that research for us and let us know, that would
Uh,
be terrific.
I'm sure his plus minus numbers or I mean his on off numbers aren't that bad because like I said, he's still like passing out assists and facilitating and stuff like that. But when they need a bucket, sometimes he's not that guy, but or he should be that guy. Uh, but also this game, I want to point out, you talked about him earlier, Rich
Bogdan, son
Bogdanovich.
of Bogdan,
Yeah,
finally save the best for last.
Milwaukee must be pretty salty that they weren't able to get him in that trade in
Mm-hmm.
the offseason because he was lighting it up.
10 for 20. 10 for
Hmm.
20 from the field, 6 for 12 from the 3 point line.
Hmm.
Basically, every other shot's going in. That guy was a flamethrower.
Yeah,
I wanted him to take
yeah.
more shots. I thought Trey Young was going to take shots away from Bogdan, but
Mm-mm.
not like in a long term sense, but just in this
Yeah.
particular game where I had the bet riding on it. So, just wanted to say, man, Bogdan, what could have been if he was
Yeah.
on the Bucks, I'd give them like a slightly bigger puncher's chance against the Nets coming up. Um, and we've referenced the Nets a few times. I know
Mm.
this isn't part of the national game that we watched, but feels like we kind of wrapped up everybody that I had questions about on this game in particular. I did want to say to our viewers have probably seen a Nets player did retire apparently.
Yeah.
Lamarcus
Oh yeah.
Aldridge. What do you guys want to talk about that just a little bit? Does that change anything for you guys? thinking about the Heat or the finals matchups against potential opponents, the Heat, the Bucks, the Sixers? Uh,
Uh, I don't think it changes any immediate matchups, but it's definitely really sad to hear having that kind of serious health issue. Uh, it hopefully, this doesn't have a long-term impact on his life. Uh, it's good that he chose the right decision to uh, think about more than basketball and take care of his family and his own health. And it's sad to hear, and hopefully it doesn't have any long-lasting effects on him.
Yeah, for sure. What's funny is just like 2 days ago, I read, I guess, an excerpt or a quote that Dwayne Wade had, and it
Mm-hmm.
was seemingly unrelated, I think, because I didn't think the Lamarcus Aldridge news had come out. But just
Mm-hmm.
talking about when he was on the Heat, still playing with Bosh, LeBron had already left, and Dwayne Wade said that he returned to Miami, and then all of a sudden, Chris Bosh was suddenly in the hospital. Then he
Oh
saw
yeah.
him, and he had tubes in his mouth, tubes in his nose, like just incapacitated basically by something, not the same thing, blood clots in Chris Bosh's case.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't mention, but heart palpitations or irregular
Yeah.
heartbeat. He said
Yeah.
he played a game where he was suffering from the effects of it, which was really scary and forced him
Mm-hmm.
to retire in terms
Mm-hmm.
of his long-term health and his family, which is smart. Get well soon. I hope he
Yeah.
lives a long, fruitful life as long as even longer than his long, fruitful NBA career.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what do you guys think you'll remember the most? Like, what sticks out in your mind when you think about LaMarcus Aldridge? Is it any Spurs moments? Is it that big free agency time where we're like, ooh, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna go to Phoenix? Is he gonna go to LA? Or is it a Portland memory when they smoked the Rockets that one time?
Yeah, yeah. Mine is that series against the Rockets. I think the first two games he had like 90 points or 89, something crazy. He
Mm-hmm.
was cooking them,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they weren't underdogs, but everyone kind of was 50-50 that series,
Yeah, it
and
was close. Chandler Parsons was on the Rockets. That's how far back it was.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and man, that Lamarcus, I think people, especially if you just started watching the NBA, you think of San Antonio Lamarcus, just a jump shooter, kind of like a Dirkish player.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was with Portland, man, he was getting down. And I think a lot of people need to go back and watch his highlights because he was serious.
Yeah, I sent a highlight package to. Well, we talk about this guy every week, but JV, my previous co-host, I sent him a 9 minute. I'm gonna link it in the show notes here. 9 minutes of Lamarcus Aldridge post-ups. I sent him. I said, "Here you go." I sent him the link, and he replied. He said, "You can't send me porn like this. I'm at work. I can't watch
Oh
this right
my
now."
gosh.
Just 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Lamarcus Aldridge posted up. Kyle, you got anything to share? Any burnt into
Yeah,
your memory?
yeah, just watching Lamarcus Aldridge, I guess mostly when you say Lamarcus Aldridge, I think of Portland as well. Back when I first started watching basketball, I would watch, I guess I would catch Dallas versus Portland games, and I would remember Lamarcus Aldridge being a huge problem. Like he was such a big bruiser, like he's always bumping guys, and just his mid range was cash, like turnaround fadeaways, all day, like. And then also he was much more athletic back in the day, so he was getting drives and having big poster slams at the same time. So it was really cool to watch.
Yeah, and he played at Texas. I didn't watch any college basketball. We played at Texas,
Hmm.
went to Portland, and he's got a lot of girth on him now. Like he's a hefty
Yeah,
dude, and so
yeah.
he always had the kind of post up moves, and he could kind of get on his back foot and fade
Hmm.
away over you, of course. But when he was a little slimmer, he'd also kind of swing himself forward and kind of go towards the rim and lay it in closer to the rim, which is something
Hmm.
that I thought was always awesome to see. You didn't see very often towards the end of his now career, being over, but. Definitely cold blooded. I remember chasing him for that free agency season after he left Portland. He had, minor beef in Portland, thinking, I want to be the number one option on a team. I want to
Hmm.
win. Me or Damian Lillard, not like in a vicious way, but
Hmm.
kind of what it was trending towards. And then when he was in San Antonio, he was like, I thought this is going to be a team built around me,
Hmm.
not Kawhi Leonard. And I don't say
Hmm.
that to paint him in a harsh light. I say that to say he was not someone that should be remembered as a ring chaser where he just needed to latch on to someone's success. He wanted to carve his own success. And
Hmm.
so I think that's something that he should be remembered by in his spirit, the spirit of the game and his will to win. So yeah, man, props to him. And I'm sure the Nets still have plenty of firepower, but he'll be missed for sure. What an abrupt ending! I can't think of another abrupt ending like that. So
Yeah.
man, but with the ending of that chapter, we have the opening of the next chapter. Thanasis Antetokounmpo and the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron has moved on. We're in a new era. Kyle, would you like to run us down this Lakers matchup that we just got done watching? Lakers versus the man. Just tell us everything. The
Yeah, I mean,
Celtics.
highlighting the Nasus. Is that how you were saying it? The Nasus,
Yeah, Thanasis.
the Nasus. It wasn't, not too bad because the the only time that the Lakers were really close was in that fourth quarter when he was out there on the floor along with Taylor Horton Tucker, Ben McLemore, and McKinney. They were fighting hard out there, despite being down so much earlier with the starters and even the bench. Uh, it started out. I mean, Jaylen Brown, he's a bucket getter. I mean, what can I say? Like, you see it up close and personal now, like on the national stage, and having his way, like no matter what, like a bunch of different type of ways. Like he was hitting the three ball, pull up mid range, driving to the basket, layups, floaters. He like everything. He was showing off the complete package.
Kyle,
Uh,
I don't know if we are a wrestling show. We're not. But you are underselling this. 13 of his first 14 makes.
I know,
That dude was
I know,
making hard ass layups. That guy got bailed
but
out and on this one crazy layup because he was about to miss a second shot, but he got a
yeah,
foul
yeah,
call. And I was like, okay, luckily
yeah.
that doesn't go on the
Mm,
record. But this dude
mm,
was just slashing and carving him up to the rim, making threes,
mm,
like no hesitation. Like he wasn't one of those nights. He was looking like Klay Thompson a little bit. When
mm.
Klay Thompson's super on fire, he shoots the hardest shots and they just go in. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
hunting an easy one. He just
yeah.
said, "Give me the ball, and whatever has to happen is gonna happen." That's what I like. He's not a glamorous player. He's not super concerned about how it's
Hmm.
looking, as long as the job gets done. And when that shit's going in, it's like, God damn. But yeah, you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
saying.
Nah, yeah, for sure. And the reason why I like his game so much is like he was able to create and like find easy shots for himself. Like
Hmm.
either it'd be like a catch and shoot three, or he would take advantage of like a pick and roll and take advantage of Marcus Gasol and being in the paint. Like so he would catch him back pedaling and hit the pull up, or you know Marcus Gasol isn't as athletic as he used to be, so he would attack him and get to the rim. So just his shots were like so easy, and he made it look easy. And it's something I wish Jason Tatum would do more often because Jason Tatum, like I'm sure he has the ability to do all those things that Jaylen Brown does. He's the best player on Boston, and he has the ability to for sure. But the spot where he has the most trouble, I think, in my opinion, is that he doesn't really find like easy shots for himself. Like uh, most of the times when he takes easy shots, it's like a three in transition, or like a three off of a teammate's driving kick. Uh, but most of the times he's doing a lot of ISO ball, and he's not driving that much, and he's not drawing fouls that much either. Uh, so a lot of the shots that he takes are like pretty tough, like especially against the Lakers. They're a great defensive team no matter what. But obviously he's great and talented, and he's a crazy shooter. He's a way better shooter than Jaylen Brown. But I just want him to get more easy shots so he can get hot too. Like earlier this week he had a 53 points, so he can do it.
Yeah, this is Jalen Brown's third 40-point outing of the season. Would you
Hmm.
say, Robin, is this fair for me to say that Jalen Brown spends more time getting past his defender for easier shots in open space, or he tries to, whereas Jalen or Jason Tatum, he's got a lot of skills in his bag of tricks, crossovers, smooth dribbles, long strides, and he's fast, but he's not so much concerned with getting past his defender. He's content with shooting over them because he has the touch and the skill. So it is technically a more difficult shot, but that they're different in that way, or do you think there's another way to describe it?
Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown really uses his size, his speed, his strength. Because when you look at him, he is like a normal 6'6" shooting guard, but he's like 230 almost. So he just feels like he's bigger than everybody. Even though he's smaller than all the centers, he looks like he's just stronger than everybody. I think with Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, I should say, he uses his dribble moves. I feel like he does a lot of sidestep threes, step back threes. When he gets to the paint, he gets there with ease, but I think that he's a little bit skinnier. He's not as strong, definitely not as fast, but um, Tatum does shoot more contested shots, kind of like he reminds me of like a mini Kobe, like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fadeaways, a lot of contested threes. While Jaylen Brown's like, you can do that. I'm just gonna go to the rim every time, and then I'll shoot a lot of catch and shoot threes. But it's something you love to see with Jaylen Brown because he's been progressing over time. He wasn't always like this, but now it's kind of like a you look at Boston and you think of they both need to step up. Back then you were like, oh, Tatum's gonna carry the team for the next decade, and Jaylen Brown could be the wingman. Now it's like, no, they're gonna be like the Giannis and Chris Middleton, what they could be.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be more of a dynamic duo. So that's gonna be fun to watch. But real quick, I just had to say, I think Boston is really, really, really top heavy
Yeah, yeah.
because it showed in the fourth quarter. I think they are really top heavy,
Yeah, for sure.
and
Uh-huh.
but and my thing is that's not gonna last. Like that is not gonna last at all. That's why they are sitting at the ranking they are right now.
Which is
Like I think they are like sixth in the East.
Mm.
I know they're not top three, and I think
They've been
New
climbing
York
though.
and New York and Atlanta still. Yeah, but I mean the playoffs. These five guys are not gonna play 40 minutes a game.
I mean,
I-
they might, but that's not gonna go well for
Yeah,
Kemba Walker. Like Kemba Walker's only good in the
yeah.
first half. Like
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But I'm gonna give them their props because I mean they might have one. They're gonna have Evan Fournier back. They're gonna have Robert Williams. They have two people off the bench, but they need some other guys to step up. Like even tonight, Marcus Smart had 15. Kemba Walker is getting his legs under him, which is a good thing for Boston to
Man, we're
have.
saying that all the time.
He
Oh
just
my
came back,
God, I'm not
but
saying
he just
you.
came back.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's always just coming back. That's what the announcers are always saying. Oh, this looks like vintage Kemba
Yeah.
Walker. Can
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
get Kemba Walker that looks like
but
himself, like
people
right
say the
now?
same thing about KD. They say the same thing about KD every time as well.
Yeah, but KD's had like a 10 times more
No,
catastrophic
no.
injury. Like, and
No, I don't want to hear that.
okay,
I don't want to.
I don't want to hear it either.
If he had a big injury, why is he coming back then? Sit out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But Kevin
Okay,
Durant will put up points in the fourth quarter. Kevin Walker just isn't.
Kevin Durant will play 2 games and then use PTO like Kyrie Irving.
No, Kyrie Irving.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't want to hear that.
Kevin Durant uses PTO too. He uses a lot of
So does
PTO.
James Harden. They're probably at the club right
Yeah,
now. Um, but no, I think definitely like this duo that Boston has going is gonna be one of the scariest duos to play because they're a shooting guard and small forward. They can take the ball down the court, they can catch and shoot, they can take you one on one, whatever it is, they can guard you. They're both. I think Jaylen Brown's an underrated defender. I think Jason Tatum is also an underrated defender. But my thing is,
yeah.
it's how Boston's going to build around these people, about around this duo is going to be important.
Yeah, for sure. I think there are middle positions, like you said, the two wings, and then Marcus Smart being kind of a heftier guard that can guard bigger sizes. Like you definitely want them to fill out the rest of the roster because like while you got them locked up for a long time, like that's a duo that you can't really match except for like maybe on the yes, definitely on the Clippers when they got it going, but that's not something that you can always guard when they're both at their best. But when you look at
And Robert Williams.
yeah, and so Robert Williams, they traded away a little bit of their depth with Daniel Tice, and now Robert Williams is out tonight, made it a lot tougher. That guy's definitely got the hops and the timing of a Time Lord, of course. But you said they're top heavy. I got it right here. Like I
Don't be
wrote it.
hating on Time Lord, Robin.
No, he's
Ugly
hating on
nickname.
the. Oh, it's a good nickname, man. Because I told you why he has the nickname, right? A
That's
couple
a
weeks ago.
Yeah, you told us. I forgot though.
But I'll recap it later for the listeners. But just the one little note that goes with what you said. You said, man, they're top heavy. When the when the Celtics started blowing out the Lakers, I look at the screen and I see that Grant Williams, he just like looked off with the fake pass, and then dunked it in the half court. Like not even full court. He's not even
Yeah.
fast. He's as fast as Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson on the
Yeah,
Grizzlies,
yeah,
whose nickname
yeah,
is Slow Mo.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
said
slow mo.
I wrote Grant Williams dunking in the half court. You know it's over. That's literally what I wrote in here. So man, I thought that was hilarious. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kyle. You were gonna say
Yeah,
something.
no, no, you're good. I mean, I was gonna say I feel like while watching Boston this game, I feel like they're not as top heavy as they were probably previously. I mean, you said they traded away some depth in Daniel Tice, which is, debatable, but at their center position, I feel they're pretty deep. I mean, you saw, I mean, Robert Williams is out right now and he's a starter. Tristan Thompson gave him good minutes right now. Uh, and Luke Cornett played, and he had good minutes too. Like, you saw him? He had 4 blocks, and they were all like
Yes, he had he
sick
had
blocks.
he had good minutes against a team that was missing their two number one stars, and Marcus Gasol had like 22 minutes played. And props to Marcus Gasol, he played well on the time that
Yeah,
he was out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But
He
you
did play
mentioned
well.
he was backpedaling. That's all Mark Gasol does anymore. He's not athletic anymore. He can't
Hmm.
sprint down the floor. He'll shoot the three and then backpedal into being an anchor position that will communicate. But he doesn't
Hmm.
have the legs under him to play defense for 40 minutes in a game. They're missing Andre Drummond too. So yeah, of course, Luke Cornett had some good minutes tonight. It's not hard to do it in this circumstance for these NBA players. Peyton Pritchard looking good, but if you're
Yeah.
building your
Yeah.
top 8 roster that's gonna go to battle against the top of the East, they're gonna go against Philly. Okay, cool. You got a 1A, 1B. Jaylen Brown. You got Jason Tatum. Great. You've got a third guy that's Kemba Walker that plays more like a fifth guy because it's like, am I gonna get this all the time? Is he gonna be there the whole time? We don't really know.
You can say
Well,
the same thing about
I
Joel Embiid.
No, I'm saying on
Health
the
wise, you can say
Celtics.
the same thing about Joel Embiid, though. You can say the same thing about Joel Embiid.
Man,
You can say the same thing about KD, Kyrie Irving. You can say the same thing about all of them. I
no,
don't
but
want
I'm
to hear that.
I'm talking about their entire roster worth of depth, building your top 7. Imagine you have them
Okay,
all in there.
okay.
They don't have an
I,
All right.
equivalent of a Tobias Harris on the team currently.
I I would change your analogy to say sometimes that Kemba Walker plays like he's a number one guy. Like he takes too many ISOs and thinks he's in Charlotte again where like nobody else can play and he has to create
Why are
everything.
you
But
guys
I
dumb?
I he
No, I,
had
I see what you mean, but
he
I'm just saying as far as
yeah.
being able to be counted on night in and night
Oh,
out, like
okay,
a
okay.
third guy
Yeah.
on the team.
Yeah,
He's more like
yeah,
a
okay.
fifth guy on the team where it's like, oh, this is a great surprise. We got Kemba Walker tonight.
Hmm.
Woo! He's not
Hmm.
playing like a third best player like Tobias Harris,
Yeah.
Ben Simmons. He's
Hmm.
playing like your fifth starter because you don't
Oh,
know
okay.
when you're gonna get it. And
Okay,
then
I got you.
Peyton Pritchard, sixth, seventh guy. Marcus Smart's your fourth starter, of course, because
Hmm.
he can get so many intangible things going.
Yeah.
A little note on the Lakers, since we've been talking about the Celtics so much. Decent showing. A lot of guys had different flashes, especially in that little mini run of the comeback. You mentioned
Hmm.
earlier that Jaylen Brown tries to make shots easy for himself, or maybe I mentioned it, trying to go to the rim and using his athleticism. Man, those Lakers role players, Montrezl Harrell, Taylor Horton Tucker, like they take some difficult shots at times, and it's not their fault. They are undersized at their positions,
Yeah.
but it's like Montrezl Harrell's like a battering ram. He's driving
Hmm.
towards the rim because he's got a little bit of a dribble. He's a little shorter, and he's gonna throw a shoulder into you 3 times and brick it nasty or dunk it. Like one of those two things is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like he's a hustle energy guy. He gets the rim,
Yeah.
he gets the rim rolls, he gets the putbacks, he gets the yelling and ones, which is awesome because you need that. But he doesn't mean he has the finesse. He doesn't have the length to finish. He doesn't have the length to finish over length. So when you combine that with the other option scoring, when Kyle Kuzma's not in the game, Taylor Horton Tucker, who has some dribble moves, he's a problem. If you met him out on the court right now, he'd bake us all into next week. But
Hmm.
against the length in the NBA, like he's got some sideways moves. He's gonna take some contested threes because he doesn't have the length to finish in the lane over length. So just something to note depending on who they have to rely on going into the stretch run when LeBron and AD come back. Because if KCP doesn't got it rolling, like who's next? Kyle Kuzma maybe? Taylor Horton Tucker? I don't think so.
I mean, this game, it felt like nobody really had it going for the Lakers except for like Marc Gasol, but you said he only played 22 minutes, so
Mhm.
uh, but
Ben McLemore.
Oh yeah. He had
Yeah.
There
good
will be
minutes too.
no Ben McLemore slander on this
And
show. Yeah,
Macklemore,
that
yeah,
guy.
you don't
Yeah.
slander him.
He
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Nah, he played good too, especially in that little comeback. But I'm a little tired of talking about the Lakers. We've talked about them like 3 weeks in a row now or something, or it feels like it. And we're about to talk about them next week too, because they play Dallas next Thursday. But uh, yeah, maybe. I mean, next week I'll cut the Lakers some credit because they might get AD back next week because he's been cleared for full on-court
Activity
I
he can
guess play.
practice
Yeah,
now. Mm.
activity. Yeah. So he may be back next Thursday. So it may be interesting there, but right now I'm like I wanted to focus on Boston. I was like, okay, Lakers again. They're always on national TV. They're on every Thursday and every Sunday or something. Like, okay, I was looking forward to Milwaukee, Atlanta, and looking forward to seeing Boston again. But I was gonna say actually that Montrezl Harrell did have a little bit of a hard time scoring on Luke Cornett. Just saying.
And Luke
Oh
Cornett got
my
a pass from
God,
Jaylen
bro.
Brown after Jaylen Brown had a
Hmm.
little bit of a penetration, and then
Hmm.
Luke Cornett kind of did a quick touch pass. He
Hmm.
had his body kind of angled towards the rim. He got the pass from Jaylen Brown and immediately touch pass to
Hmm.
Peyton Pritchard,
Hmm.
who sank the three, looking
Hmm.
beautiful when they were routing the Lakers in the third quarter. I was like, Jesus Christ, who is this guy? So yeah. Props to
Yeah.
Luke Cornett. Fun name to
Uh,
say.
uh, it's spelled pretty cool too. It's like Hornet, but instead of an H, it's a K.
Hmm.
I spelled it wrong in my notes because I didn't look at his name. I just went with what I heard. But uh,
So he has a
anyways,
new fan now. He has a new fan in Kyle tonight.
no,
I'll say that.
no,
Kyle, you are sold on him, huh?
no, I'm not sold on him. I just thought he was like better than trash.
I
So
got
Oof,
you.
oof. So
You're building an
better,
NBA team.
better than Chris Middleton's what you're saying.
Yeah,
no.
They
that's
should,
basically what you said.
Oh my gosh.
the Bucks
No,
should trade
the,
immediately.
You said Chris Middleton was soft, and you said this guy was nice.
I
That's
said I
what I'm
said Chris
hearing.
Middleton is soft because he's better than that and he knows it.
So if you're building an NBA team, all I know is you're taking Cornette, which is like fourth overall pick.
No, you've lost your mind. You you've twisted my words so far now.
That's
Like
what
no,
I'm hearing.
no, absolutely not.
So you're saying that when we
That's,
hit the vaccinated section of the next NBA game that we go to, and the Bucks are playing, you're going to be holding a Chris Middleton is soft sign
oh, I bet
to
you
me?
I
won't.
yeah.
I bet you won't.
If I lose one of these
Oh, one of these challenges.
yeah, if I lose one of these challenges, you might have to make me, but I don't
I
have the
hope he
balls to
sees
do
it
that on
too.
my own.
It should say Chris Middleton is soft, and I'm disappointed in you. You can do better.
Yeah, yeah, a little asterisk. Uh, I was about to say something. Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say something about Evan Fournier. I'm ready for him to come back. That he can definitely be that sixth guy, to come off and make him not as top heavy and give him some shooting at the same time.
Yeah, and he can keep the ball moving. He
Hmm.
he does the little things. Like he's the guy that you like to play with when you go play pickup. The guy that doesn't take
Hmm.
every shot that is available to him, but gets the ball moving. The only unfortunate part is over the course of his
He's
career,
balding.
he's been unavailable, due to injury quite often, and he's
You said
balding.
he's
Like, who
balding.
wants to play with that?
Balding.
Yeah, that's what he said, balding.
Yeah, he was like, and unfortunately, yeah, he's balding.
All right, Kyle. So now that we've kind of talked about that stuff, do you guys have an MVP of the night between the two games? Who made it the most watchable for you, or any kind of reason that you had?
Jaylen Brown, because coming into tonight, he was already like my favorite player to watch, and he showed me why he's my favorite player to watch because he had a sick dunk off a cut to the rim, and it just capped off his night. And then even when they came back, like they brought him back in the game, and he got himself like he had 30 points before they brought him back in at the end of the fourth,
Yeah,
and
that made me laugh because the
yeah.
Lakers cut it to like 6 or 5 points,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
were like, "All right, does it get the parents back into the game?
yeah,
Marcus
yeah,
Smart,
yeah.
Jaylen Brown,
Uh-huh.
Jason Tatum all come in.
Uh-huh.
Get out of here,
Yeah, yeah.
kids. Go away,
It,
Peyton
it, it,
Pritchard."
it was kind of funny because they didn't bring the Lakers starters back in. but I guess that's kind of their bench still. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. He got the 40 points after he brought him back in because he was at like 36 when he thought his night was over. But
So I'm
yeah,
going with my man. I wanted to pick Jaylen Brown at first. You already picked him. I wanted to go with Bogey Bogdanovich. You can go in our text thread. Like I picked the Hawks, and everyone's
yeah.
looking at me crazy, and I'm just yelling Bogey. Man, Trae Young's
Oh,
taking.
that's what you meant?
Yeah.
I know I was a little confused when he said bogey too. I was like
Yeah.
bogey.
I was like,
Oh,
on
man.
sport, bro.
No.
But no, I
Wow.
like
You thought I meant
after the
golf?
show started.
No,
Yeah.
Bogdanovich. That's so. In case you guys don't know, the Ovich part of people's last names that are of Serbian or other European countries, it means
Mhm.
son
Oh,
of. So
yeah.
Bogdan is the son of Bogdan. Like his dad's name is Bogdan. His first name is Bogdan, so he's Bogdan, son of Bogdan, otherwise known as Bogey. Trae Young's taking all his shots. He shot every other shot he took went in. If you delete Trae Young's 17 shots from the game, maybe the Hawks win. But that's all I'm gonna say.
Are you serious?
But anyway, that's who I
I mean
got for my MVP.
the Hawks were a little short-handed. We'll cut them some slack. We'll cut them some slack.
Who do you got for your MVP, Robin? While you're over there
No,
face
I can't
palming.
believe you just said that. I got Drew Holiday as my MVP.
Nice.
23 points, 7 assists, 4 boards, but his defense on Trae Young. Trae had a couple
Absolutely.
obviously like missed floaters, but he made him work. Right when he crossed half court, he was in his face. I feel like that a lot of people don't know, like that makes you use energy just to set up a play to use your energy. That gets you fatigued, that gets mentally, emotionally, all that.
Mhm.
Stop picking Drew.
Nice.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. What are you saying, Kyle?
No, I was gonna say I remember a funny moment at the end of the Hawks Bucks game. Like uh, it was literally at the end of the game. The Trae Young shot a shot and he got like bumped from behind, but the arena was silent, and uh, all you heard was him saying, "How is that not a foul?" And
Oh
him
wow.
turning and looking at the ref and stuff. And I was like,
Whack.
I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah, I think those are some of
like,
the weakest foul drawing
yeah,
mechanics that you can try to pull off in
yeah,
a game.
yeah. I hate those type of fouls, and then Trey Young's definitely one of the best at them. But he kind of has. I mean, I wouldn't say he has
He
to,
doesn't
but
have
like,
to.
yeah, he doesn't have to, but it plays into him being smaller and skinnier. So he gets the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time. But I did. It was funny because the game was out of reach anyway, and he was like, how is that not a foul? And it was like clear as day too. It was just pretty funny.
I mean, he might have just been partially trying to feed his own stat line, which is unfortunate. I think
Yeah,
he took a
yeah.
page out of the. I think he should take a page out of the Steve Nash playbook instead of digging for those fouls where he stops in the lane and lets somebody dribble into him.
Mm,
Just do what Steve Nash does: dribbles under the rim. If there's no shot
mm,
available, he does what's called the midget. You just dribble right back out the other side and try to find
mm.
another avenue to pass it off. That's literally called the midget. Jason Kidd did it. Steve Nash did it before
Yeah,
him. And if Trae Young would add that to his repertoire, I'm sure he'd find more avenues to get passes off and give us some more watchable basketball that is not letting people run him over like Dennis Schroeder did last week. And
mm.
we were like, wondering if
And
Eric
Eric,
Spoelstra was right.
So you don't like when people go to the free throw line a lot, Rich?
I mean,
yeah.
No. Just answer the questions. It's a simple question. Answer it for the
no,
viewers.
I like marches to the
No,
free
you
throw
don't
line.
like. You
I
don't
do.
like
No,
watching free throw contests. You do.
I do like marching to the free throw line and earning your stripes and getting
Okay.
contact.
All right.
I just don't like when a person is dribbling forward just stops. Like it's like getting rear-ended on the highway. Like it's fraud on the highway.
Brake checking.
Yeah, brake checking. Nobody likes that.
That's true. But
Okay,
the
that's what I'm
person
saying.
who hits the guy in the back still has to pay for it, right?
I don't know. I don't
I-
agree with this.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
brake check the wrong person,
Yeah.
you get run over. So
All I'm saying is you slandering Trae Young, but you fantasize over James Harden.
No slander.
That's all I'm gonna say.
There will be no slander
That's
on
all
this
I'm gonna
podcast.
say.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's go ahead and look ahead to next week's games. What's on the schedule, Robin, for next Thursday?
It's gonna be the 76ers at the Bucks, or I don't know who's home, but one of them, the 76ers and the Bucks are playing,
Okay.
and then it's the Lakers at Mavericks. or the Mavericks at Lakers. One of the two.
I believe the first team that's from left to right is the home team.
Well, I don't know which one was
Oh,
first.
okay.
I just know the matchups.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that 76ers Bucks game. Uh,
I
I'm
got a bold prediction.
What is it?
all right. You want to say it now, or you're talking about for next week?
Well, it's not really a bold prediction, but I'm just saying Giannis is gonna go. He's gonna outperform Joel Embiid. Giannis is going for 50.
50.
Book it.
When's the last time he had
Book it.
50 points?
It don't matter.
I'd
He's
have to
going
look
for
it
it
up.
next week.
That is pretty bold. I
Yeah.
predict Joel Embiid's gonna have a good enough game that he's gonna pull out the suck it again. He did it this week. Did it last week.
Yeah, he did do it this week. I
Yep.
was like, man.
Giannis got something to prove. Everyone's doubting him. Third seed, not even in the MVP race. He's gonna show the MVP front runner or one of the two MVP front runners.
Dude, I like your bold
that
prediction.
he mean business.
I'm down to see a slugfest. I just know that I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan of that celebration. I did it at work today. I was in the computer section just like, but anyway.
You're gonna
Okay.
a customer's gonna
I
call
don't need
HR
you
on
to
you.
tell. I don't need you to tell that anymore. Bro. Don't say that out loud, bro. You're gonna get fired.
The other game, Lakers Mavericks. Mavericks on Thursday. Thumbs up, pretty good.
I wonder
Lake-
what's going to happen. It's going to be a home and home. They're going to play twice. One of them is going to be the one that we cover, but the previous one is going to be also against the Lakers, kind of like a little baseball series. And if the Mavericks are serious about getting into the, out of the play-in tournament, get into a 6 seed or better, I think they need to win both of those games, whether or not Anthony Davis plays. Like if they get the lineup that the Celtics got tonight, I hope that they don't let their guard down for their own sake and squander a win. And if Anthony Davis does play, like maybe Porzingis can be in the game too, and he can match up against each other. So we'll see.
My thing is that they play the Lakers on Thursday at home, but on Wednesday at home they play the Pistons. So KP doesn't play back-to-backs. So I wonder if they'd rest him for Detroit, or they would just try to secure the Detroit win, and then just rest him against the Lakers and pray Anthony Davis isn't ready by then. But we'll see,
Yeah. If AD comes back, I mean, depending on if it's like his first game back, like, and he has like a minutes restriction or something, but if he doesn't, like in a perfect world, I think Anthony Davis will probably tear up Kristaps as much as
All right. Oh, cool. So let's see if these predictions come to light. Is there anything else that you guys had that y'all want to get off your chest for this week's games or next week's games?
Cornette for MVP.
Luke Cornette, trade Chris Middleton, Luke Cornette in the offseason. Got it? Kyle?
Yep.
I just wanted to make a comment on a guy less known. You were happy when Robin called out Brooke Lopez.
For
So I was
sure,
like,
for
all
sure.
right.
Brooke
I was like-
Lopez is known though.
I mean,
but he's less known now than he used to be.
Yeah. But I was gonna say if you guys watching the show at home, next week I may be able to stream the podcast live on Twitch. Let us know if you think that would be a good idea and if you want to see something like that.
Yeah, for sure. We might even do YouTube live. That way, it's on the same channel
Yeah.
or both.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
crazy. We'll figure it out. That's all in the works. Awesome. So looking forward to next week. Can't wait to see if these bold predictions come true. Thank you guys for checking out our content thus far. If you guys want to go back in time and revisit some of the previous games, please look through our back catalog on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, anywhere that podcasts are bought and sold. Look out for our next mixtape dropping on Apple Music and SoundCloud. If you guys want to hit up our mailbag to get any questions answered, anything long form, kind of like what we're doing here at the end of the podcast, you can hit us up in our email inbox. That's shotcallershow@gmail.com. Instagram and Twitter, that's shotcallersshow. We'll link those all in the description. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and press the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And just to wrap things up, I'll put a nice little bow on it. I got my man Kyle here with me. Thank you for joining us, Kyle.
Yes,
Robin,
sir.
thank you for joining us this week. My name is Rich, and we are the Shot Callers. We will join you guys next time.